Oh, hi dudes. In this episode I'm going to show you how I repair my hydraulic steering busted hose, and then I'm going to show you how to bleed the system and get all the air out of it. It's a little bit complicated, but it's not rocket science. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. First thing I'm going to need is lots of rags, because there's a fair bit of oil down there. It's probably dumped a whole lot, I reckon. Let's get down and have a look, eh? Lots of fluid down here. This hose has shit itself, one of them has anyway. One of these hoses has just let go, it's fractured there, it's just got a hole in it. You can see lots of fluid down in the bilge. I'll have to clean that out. I'll take these hoses off first, and I'll probably make a bit more mess, so I'll do that, then I'll clean it up. See, it's got a hole, it's just the hoses let go. I guess 20 years old, you're expecting a bit too much. I probably should have replaced them, but I've kept an eye on it, but you just can't see what's happening inside, so blown a hole in there. Anyway, fixable, but messy. This will be my yoga over the next few days, in and out of this hole. Good. Oil. Trick is to keep everything really clean, so I'm just going to tape these fittings up so we don't get any dirt into there. Don't want any sort of dirt at all in your steering system, because it gets under valves and just wrecks everything. Just going to take these hoses right off. That'll keep everything nice and clean. Now, before I go cleaning up the mess in here, I'm going to go over and do the other side, so I'll probably drop a bit of oil out there, then I can clean the whole lot up. So here's the problem. Just blown a hole in the hose. I don't think it's been rubbing on anything. I think it's just got tired and fractured. Well, I've done all I can. I got down there, got the hoses off. I've cleaned out the bilges, gone over them with
soap and water to get all the hydraulic fluid out. So I can't do anything now until the guy comes and makes new hoses for me, and he's going to do that tomorrow afternoon. So I've sent him photos of what I need, and he sent a message back saying okay, so I guess he's got all the fittings there he needs, so that'll be good. So tomorrow afternoon I'll put the hoses back on, and then we'll have to bleed the system. There's the Laurieton United Servicemen's Club, just off the jetty. They make you very welcome coming in here. Great spot. Good beers, good meals. Fantastic. Pretty good night here against the jetty at Lauriton. And just a matter of waiting for the guy this afternoon to come down and make these hoses for me. So fingers crossed he comes down and does that today. And we'll get the steering back together and fill it with oil and bleed it. Well, I've just walked uptown to the servo and bought myself some Dextron auto transmission fluid. We need that to fill the steering back up. Last one. Beautiful. This is Neil from, what was the name of your company?
Gale Force Hydraulics.
Gale Force Hydraulics. So he has done a great job. I rang him yesterday, he's down here this morning, made my hoses, so I've got the hoses done, and that's fantastic. Thanks very much, Neil.
It's okay.
He's a mobile man, so wherever you are, you can get hydraulic hoses done.
Okay.
Pretty firmly. Okay, well, we've put the hoses back onto the rams down the back. They're all fitted in. Now what I've got to do is bleed the steering. The first thing I'm going to have to do is fill the helm pump with oil. So you fill the helm pump first. So there's the filler for the helm pump. We just take that out. Make sure you keep everything really clean when you're doing this, because any bits of grit or dirt in this system and you'll end up with sticking valves and the thing won't work. So make sure you keep everything scrupulously clean. Now I've got my Dextron, and it's got a handy little pour on it, so I'm going to put that on the bottle there, and then what I'll do, I'll fill the helm pump up first. So I'll fill that up until there's oil to the top of this filler, so that'll fill the whole pump with oil. Once that's done, I'll screw this reservoir on the top. That it just screws on there down onto an O-ring. And then we can fill that reservoir up. That gives us a head of oil, okay? And while someone's up here turning the wheel, actually turning the helm, I've got to get down the back and bleed the air out of the cylinders. So I'll show you how I do that. And there's a bit of a routine you go through, a bit of a process you go through to do it, and it'll be dependent on what your system is, whether it's just a single ram, single pump setup, maybe it's a dual station, single ram setup, maybe it's a dual station 2 ram setup. What we've got here, I've got a single station 2 ram setup, and it's got a fluid link between the two slave cylinders. So I've got to go through the process of bleeding that in order. So it's a high drive system mine. They've got plenty of info on the net on how to do it. So you just go through and follow that. So once we do that, it's a bit of a chore doing it, but once you've done that and got all the air out, then you should be right to go. So I'll get down the back and I'll show you what I do down there to bleed the oil out as well. But it's a 2-person job because you've got to have someone turning the wheel here while probably me is down in the tiller flat bleeding the oil off as the wheel's being turned. So it's definitely a 2-person job. Probably even a 3rd person to be filling this receiver up and keeping that little container full, because as you're turning the wheel, it's going to be dropping the level on that. So if you had a 3rd person, they could be keeping this topped up while the person turns the wheel. So it's a bit of a process, but find what the instructions are for bleeding your system and follow it word for word, and you shouldn't go wrong. Anyway, we'll show you how we do it. Right, so you can see all your air that came out of that system. That's what we're doing, getting rid of it. Well, the job's done. All installed and bled up. A couple of people to thank. Thanks very much to Neil from Gale Force Hydraulics. He came down from Port Macquarie and made the hoses for me. Couldn't have done without him. And thanks also Chris off the boat Skedaddle. He was the man turning the steering wheel for me while I was down the back bleeding the oil out. So a bit of a team effort. Thanks very much, guys. Job's done. We can head further south. Well, it's time to do the washing. There's a laundromat close by. Yeah, might even wash the blue shirt. Do that, and I don't really want to become jobbers myself. Yeah. I've been making movies all morning. For something different, I'm going to go and watch a movie this afternoon. Lauriton's probably one of the only places where you can tie your boat up and go up to a cinema. So we're going to go up and watch Rams. Should be fun. So how good's this? I don't know many places where you can tie your boat up and within 5 minutes walk to the cinema. We're going to go and see a movie. Of course you can't go and do a movie without a chop top. We're being called into the cinema. Well, it was a good little Aussie show. Something a bit different for the afternoon. Head back to the boat now and look at getting some dinner.